Hi, it's Amy from Ameroonie Designs and welcome to my floss tube. This is actually floss tube number 2. So I am so glad that you're here. I want to thank everybody for so many kind comments on my last floss tube. It was so fun to get to interact a little bit with you, and I look forward to doing that a lot more. If you also want to follow me over on Instagram at Ameroonie Designs over there, I will put that link in the description below. But I share a lot of stories and behind the scenes and have lots of fun tutorials and reels going on over there. So I would love to have you over there, and I would also love to have you click subscribe and like this video. If you follow very many floss tubes or anybody on YouTube, you know that those mean the world to us and help grow our channels and our reach and help us to keep producing the content that you like. So anyway, all of that said, welcome, welcome. Let's get started. I have some really fun projects that I finished up over the last month, and I am really looking forward to sharing them with you. So in my last floss tube, I shared some new fabric that I had gotten from Marley Blake Designs that I was using for the blog tour, the project tour for Melissa Mortenson's new Spooky Hollow fabric line. And so this is the project that I ended up making. I used one of the panels that was meant for a trick-or-treat bag and put it into the middle of this mini quilt. Now this mini quilt pattern is a free pattern on my blog if you subscribe for subscribers to my newsletter. But I love that it is such a fun, versatile project. I also have this project made up in a Sandy Gervais fabric that again had a panel in the center, and then I did much smaller patchwork around the whole border, and it gives it a totally different look. But I love, love, love this simple patchwork border. It makes it so much faster to stitch up than a 3-row border of tiny little 1.5-inch squares. So anyway, that is my Spooky Hollow mini quilt, and I am so excited to get that hung up when it's Halloween, but let's not jump that far ahead. And actually in this floss tube, we're gonna talk about Christmas too. So who am I to say what the calendar should look like? The next project that I have been working on is I created a floss tube, not a floss tube, but a YouTube tutorial showing how to sew these fabric lanyards. And I like adding the safety clasp to them because I really like that it prevents any strangulation hazards, and then it has just a little lobster clasp to it. But they are just so fun. They make great gifts for graduates or for just anybody. I love that they're pretty easy to sew. I get these safety clasps as well as my lobster clasps all on Amazon. And if you click over to the full tutorial on my YouTube channel, I actually do link to the Amazon place. They're not affiliate links yet. Hopefully eventually I'll get my act together, but for right now they're not, which anyway, so there are, so that's one project. And then another project that I love to make that goes with it are these little chapstick holders. So this is another free tutorial that is on my blog. I also have a reel, and I may even have a highlight on my Instagram showing how to sew these together. They are so fast and fun. They use just minimal fabric. They come together really quickly. So as I've been working on these two things, I also have a pattern on my blog, another free one, for a little mini wallet that attaches to the lanyard. So for kids and things like that, as they're riding their bikes in the summer and want to grab the ice cream man or whatever, they can stick a little wallet on here as well. So that sparked the idea of doing a summertime sewing camp where they're just going to be super small, simple projects because it's summer. You want to be outside and doing and being all the things, but sometimes it's too hot to be outside, or sometimes it's just fun to have a new project to work on in the downtime or whatever. So I am going to be starting that the first week of June, and I will share all about that on my blog. And also hopefully I'm going to start doing my floss tubes every other week. So I will be back before it kicks off to share more information about that, but it will be once a week, super quick tutorials throughout the month of June. I think there will be 5 in total, and they will just be fun, easy projects that are free. If I don't already have a video tutorial for them, I will be making video tutorials for them. I'm really excited about summer sewing camp. So I have been sewing lots of multiples of things. I taught a class for Mod B, which is an online quilting conference. It's a 3-day online class. I will be sure to tell you about it in the fall when it comes around again, but it was so fun, and I taught my summer fruit mug rug pattern. And in doing that, when I'm teaching an online class, I like to have lots of step outs so that I don't have to it doesn't take a million years watching me sew, because we all know what it looks like when somebody sews. So I had a lot of step outs. So I've been working my way through the pile. I had about 13 mug rugs to finish. And so I thought I would share with you some of the ones that I finished. So this is Strawberry Honey fabric by Burlap and Blossoms, and it's just so bright and fun, and I love these cherries on it. So this pattern is one that is for purchase in my Etsy shop, and the pattern comes with 4 different fruit shapes. So there's the cherries, there's lemons. These next few patterns, or these next few mug rugs are, oh, here's another one that is, okay, this one's Strawberry Honey too, around the binding. This is some from an upcoming line, this yellow, and then these are just scraps that I use a Quilt As You Go background. So this pattern actually comes with the 4 fruit shapes. So there's cherries, lemons, watermelon, and strawberries. And then it also comes with 3 different styles of backgrounds that you can sew. So this one is a Quilt As You Go background. This one is it's a Quilt As You Go strip for the background behind the cherries, and then 2 borders. And then there's another one, let's see if I have one in this group, where this is a solid color, and then this is a Quilt As You Go accent strip at the top. So these are all super fun. So there's the watermelon. This is Gingham Gardens by My Mind's Eye fabrics. And then these are all Notting Hill fabrics by Amy Smart. And I just think they turned out so cute. I do have some video tutorials here on my YouTube channel showing all the steps of making the mug rugs, and especially the binding, how I do it, how I join them together, how I sew them onto my machine and stuff like that. So if you want to know how to put those together, I have all of those tutorials there. So the cute cherry one, and then a couple of really cute strawberry ones. So I also have a couple more that I am working on finishing up. I have made them, these are mostly, gosh, I think all of these were all fruits. And then I do have, let me grab it. Sorry about that. I do have this version that is all the fruits together, which I think is so fun too. So, and I love all the bright colors. And again, this is Strawberry Honey fabric. So when I put these on this background, the fruit didn't really stand out as much as I wanted it to. And so I went ahead and outlined them in black thread, which I really like how that turns out. It helps them stand out. And then if you do buy this pattern, I do have one little quick tip for you. And that is these little heart shines and seeds and stuff that I have on here. They are teeny tiny. And you can stitch through them with your machine, and I have and do, but I have found that it's super easy to just use fabric glue and glue those down instead of trying to stitch around them. And I kind of like that it gives it just a little bit of a different look, but it's so much easier and faster than trying to stitch around, especially all your tiny little watermelon seeds and stuff. So anyway, there's just a little tip if you decide that you want to do that project. Okay. The last finish that I have to share with you is this. This is part of the book tour that I did for Bev McCullough from Flamingo Toes. She has a new book out, and it is called Retro Stitchery. So they are all super fun embroidery patterns. And so this is her pattern in here, and then I changed out all the colors. And I do have a blog post on my blog all about it, and I'll link it down in the description. But I added this border, and I was so worried because by the time you've done all of this beautiful stitching, I was so worried I was going to mess up the actual finishing of the mini quilt, because I like the look of the quilted aspect of all of it, and I didn't want to have this not have any quilting in it, but I didn't want to machine quilt through the embroidery and all of that stuff. And so I was so concerned about how I was going to get this to look the way I wanted it to. So what I ended up doing is I added the border, and then I quilted around the border, and then, I don't know if you can see this, I'm going to kind of hold it up close, but there are little X hand quilting stitches all throughout the background of the embroidery on there. And I love it. It was just the right amount of a little bit of tacking down the center so that it didn't kind of bubble out, but also just a little bit more texture, and the embroidery floss has a little bit of shine and stuff to it. So all of the details for this are on my blog, but I just love how that turned out. And then I had a lot of people ask me about this layered backstitch that I used for the letters, which is what Bev calls for in the pattern. And so I am working on, in fact, today I am going to be filming how to do that layered backstitch. And so what I did is I just used the strawberry from my summer fruit pattern to create a little pattern to just stitch up really quick to show how to do it. And I just love how that turned out. So I will be filming that tutorial today and be watching for that to come on the YouTube channel. I do have some other embroidery stitch patterns on there, or tutorials. I have a pattern, one pattern that is an embroidered word ornament pattern. It has 6 different words with the embroidery. And so I have created video tutorials of how to do all of those stitches. And then my goal is to create kind of a whole library, and they're super short videos so that you can just get in, see what you need, and then move on. It's just one quick little stitch in each video. So hopefully that will help somebody if they are trying to learn embroidery on top of all the cross-stitching fun and all the other projects that you do, right? Okay. Also, last time I talked about these little seasonal pillows that I have started working on. And so this is transitioning into my works in progress segment on my floss tube. I have finished one for each season. So this is spring, and then I have this that I stuck in this here tray, a watermelon for summertime. And then for fall, I have pumpkins and leaves. And then for winter, I have these mittens. So I am working on them. I have a few more samples to stitch up, and I do want to do some video tutorials for those, but they are coming soon. And in fact, one of my upcoming projects uses this fabric, which is a new line from the Tattooed Quilter for Riley Blake, called Holly Holiday, and I'll be sharing more of that with you in just a minute. But so once that project comes out, which should be out the first week of June, I will be releasing this pattern with that blog post. So coming soon, 2 weeks from now, this pattern will be available with, again, this one has 3 different options. So I polled my Instagram followers and said, do you like options in your patterns, or do you just want, like, you know, give it to me straight. I want to just know how to do this one project and be done with it all. And overwhelmingly, everybody said, please give us options. So I would love to hear your thoughts if you'll weigh in the comments. Like, do you like options in patterns or different ways to finish them? I kind of like the more bang for your buck idea of lots of different ways to do it. So this pattern will actually have 3 different ways to create your pattern. So this one is with the more complicated border. So it has little cornerstones in it and goes around. And then like on this watermelon one, you'll see that the border doesn't have the cornerstones. It's just a more simple border. And then I'm going to be doing one with no border at all, which is the simplest way to do it. That will just be one solid piece of fabric on the front. So this one will have 3 different ways to pull the pillows together, 4 different seasons. But then, like I've done here, where this, I went ahead and used more of that spooky hollow fabric. So you can take your fall one and make it fall or Halloween. And then the winter one, you can do Christmas or all of winter, that kind of thing. So I was hoping to make it as versatile as I could and a really fun pattern. So that is a work in progress because I still have to write it up and finish all the samples and all the things that come with releasing a new pattern, troubleshooting things and everything like that. And then the other work in progress that I have, and I'm sharing this here because I sewed it a long time ago and I have been wanting to get this thing quilted. It's not big, it's super easy, and I just can't, like, there's always other things to do, or I'm too tired or whatever. So I am putting this out there so that by the next floss tube, I will have this done. So this is another one of my patterns. It's called Be Kind. And I'm trying to remember the fabric line this is. I think it's called Golden Aster. And it's been stitched together for 6 months. I just need to quilt it and bind it. And I love these fabrics and I love this pattern. And so I am sharing this as a work in progress so that I will get off my hiney and get it done. So there you go. Committing to myself through you that I am going to work on that and get it done. All right. With the, so those are works in progress. Now we're on to starts and things that are coming in the future. So I wanted to share this Holly holiday fabric. So this is the main print. It is a beautiful floral, and I love the pinks and the reds and the greens. But there are such fun colors and motifs in this line. There is a red one and there is a pink one of the main print. And then probably one of my favorite prints is this darling Christmas tree print. So that was in pink and this is in the black and green. They are just so much fun. And then this Santa is adorable and I love all the skin tones. And he comes in pink and green and red. There's the other ones of him. I just think that he is delightful. So, so cute. And then as you saw in that, in my little pillow here is one of the blender prints. It is just so cute. And then there is this cute berry with a little floral. And then I love that Christopher always has kind of a fun text print, and this Ho 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 one I just think is so cute. And then this red one that is on the white background with red and green. It is so classic and so cute. So I will be creating both this project, and then I'm hoping to also do like a mug rug of this one. And then I also have a couple other projects in the works. So we'll see how they all come together in the next couple of weeks to get that project all done. So, but that is something that will be in my next floss tube. The other thing that I am starting is this little cross stitch. This is a free pattern that I found on Plaid Crafts, and it is just a little fall pumpkin. I found it on Pinterest. I will link to it in my show notes. It's back from 2016, and it's just a quick little one, but I thought it would be so fun to turn into a pillow, to stick on like a tiered tray or something that I am going to be designing a whole bunch of different projects for fall with some new fabric that I got in. I have a quilt pattern and a mini quilt and lots of things in the works. So I will have that started, at least, maybe not quite all the way finished in the next couple of weeks, but that is a start that I have. So I had one last thing that I wanted to share with you while I am here. A lot of you may or may not know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And a couple of different companies that I follow on Instagram and stuff, Riley Blake Designs, there was a couple other ones. I want to say maybe Plaid Crafts. There was also an article in the New York Times this last week talking about the power of creativity and how so many people have turned to creating as a way to cope with all of the stress and trials and the trouble of the last year in this pandemic especially. But if you're here and you're watching a floss tube, I kind of suspect that you're like me and it has been one of your means of mental health care, self-care. And so I kind of wanted to share my little story about my mental health and creativity and how it kind of helped me out through a tough time. So I was 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago, I had my 6th baby. Yes, that is 6. It's a lot. I love them all, and I am so grateful for each of them, but I was really struggling. I had 6 kids in 13 years, and you know, it's just busy and hard, and newborn stages, I don't do well with no sleep. Like I pass out and I get like nauseated if I don't get enough sleep. So obviously me and newborn stages, it's a struggle anyway. And then I found myself really slipping into a bit of postpartum depression. Well, I had these hearts sewn together for quite a while. I had done them, I don't even remember how long I had them just sitting around in a stack in my craft room. I mean, it was probably at least months and months, if not longer than that. So this, I had used, I think it was Cluck Cluck Sew's tutorial for how to make these cute little hearts. And I had thought, oh, it'd be so fun to make a little rainbow heart mini. And I had made the hearts, and then I set them aside and got distracted and had a baby and all of that stuff. And there they sat. And then one day I just was low, just struggling so hard. And it had been weeks of struggle. And I went down into my craft room and I'm like, I just need to feel like something has been accomplished. Like I have done something with this day that will stay done, and something that is just for me, it's not for anybody else, just for me to reconnect with that little tiny piece of myself. And so I took out these little hearts. This was such a small project. It's only 9 little squares. And I sewed together these rows, and I sewed the rows together. And I looked at it and I was like, I love it. And instantly it was like, I'm gonna get through this. I just knew that I could do it. It was not like perfect after that moment, but having this hobby, having this way that connects my mental health, my body, and my spirit, it saved me in that moment, and it became a turning point in my mental health, especially with that postpartum depression. And I have always continued to turn to creativity when I am having a hard time. I'll just sit down and make something small, which is why I specialize in my business with small patterns, quick and easy, because sometimes you just need something that you can get done in a couple of nap times or in an afternoon, because that's all you have, and you just need to be done with it and have something to step back and say, I did that, I made that. And it's like a little piece of yourself falls back into place when the chaos of life has started to rip things away. So if you are struggling with mental health, if you need help, reach out, get the help that you need. But if you are struggling, not critical, but just, hurting a little bit, find a small little project, something fun, and just breathe through it. It doesn't have to turn out perfect. If you look at this, some of my points are off, and it is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And there is so many eyelashes and the quilting on the back and all of that stuff. This is not perfect, but this will be something that I will treasure for the rest of my life, because it represents to me the power of taking time for yourself, the power of connecting with the things in your life that bring you joy, that fill your cup, so that you have the capacity to serve and help and lift and love others in your life as well. Anyway, that got a little, but I love creativity. I'm so excited to get back into cross stitching, which was kind of one of the first things that brought me into craft in the first place. And I can't wait to share more projects, more fun, more creativity and sewing and stitching and all of the things with you in this journey. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.